Hello, g'day. So, how did the crack in Crackastory come about? Well, it probably actually originated somewhat in my childhood. I grew up on a little farm on the edge of a country town in Australia, and there were times there where water was very, very hard to come by during drought. So hard that we had to really protect our water in our home. There were times there when my father would come home from work. Now, he was a vet. He looked after all sorts of animals, and that's a story for another day. He would come home and he'd be very tired, and he'd get out of his red overalls, red because they were covered in blood. They should have been white overalls. And he'd put them into the washing machine. Then he'd go and have a bath. Once he'd had a bath, he would get out of the bath. Mum would get in using the same bath water. Then Mum would get out of the bath. And then my brother and I, my brother a couple of years older than me, we would get in and share the same water. After that, we would bucket the water out into the washing machine and wash Dad's work clothes. That was during drought when we didn't have much water. So you could gather that water became very precious to me. At night, wrapped up in a blanket, I'd look out my window and I could see a distant mountain called Mount Blackjack, and sometimes lightning would crack behind it. And when I saw that lightning or heard the rumble of thunder, I'd sort of wrap myself up tighter and hope upon hope that I'd hear the rain. And occasionally it would come just a little blink, blink, blink on our tin rooftop. Boy, there are few greater sounds in the world than rain on a tin roof. And sometimes it would turn from plink, plink, plink into drum, and I'd wrap myself up and I'd feel so cozy and secure and safe. I wanted fast track a number of years when my own son came along. He's now 10 years of age, but this is going back several years now. When I was living in Sydney, I wanted my son to experience the feeling of rain. Now, he was only a young boy, about three and a half. So in the midst of a thunderstorm, I took him out into the back of our suburban backyard and let him feel the rain rushing on his face. And there was thunder and lightning, boom, crash, walloping all around us. And every time there was a streak of lightning, I'd say, mate, that's electricity. This is nature. This is power. This is wonderful. Now, I was getting a little bit excited by this stage. After one particularly loud clap, he squeezed my hand and he went, Daddy? And I looked at him and went, yes, mate. What's on the other side? What do you mean, mate? What's on the other side of the sky? Think about it. To him, it wasn't lightning at all. Those streaks, those bony fingers of electricity that flashed across the sky were in fact cracks in the sky, and the sky was opening up. He looked at the world so very differently through the eyes of a young child. And that, for me as a writer, really made me think, and it changed my mind. What we see can be very different from person to person. So to this day, when I write, at the top of each page, I put lightning or crack, just to remind me that what one person can see, someone else can see. Therefore, we can look for the crack in the sky. Crackastory. That's how it came about. I hope you enjoy this website. It is about power of storytelling and growing a community of storytellers.